40% of all AI citations come from Reddit right now, not blogs or product pages or anything like that. So if your brand isn't in those conversations, you're just going to be invisible to ChatGPT, Perplexity, all the major AIs, right? And the brands that are showing up on Reddit are the ones getting recommended. Your customers are finding them instead of you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to build a brand presence on Reddit and how to do it yourself, how to do it at scale, and then also show you how our team does it internally for clients. So you get a little insight there. Before we start, my name is Mike Sack, co-founder and CEO of SEO Aces. We help e-commerce brands generate millions of new revenue from organic channels. And one of the biggest levers people are pulling right now is strategic Reddit engagement. They're not running Reddit ads or, using bots to spam Reddit. They're actually going in there and organically engaging and getting their brand mentioned in threads so that when AI scrapes those threads, they get mentioned by the AI. And then also when people are like browsing threads themselves, they see their brand name show up over and over. So it's just a really good way to organically expand your brand presence, right? Before we dive into the screen share here and I show you exactly how to do this, just to lay the foundation here, why is Reddit the AI visibility goldmine, right? Like I said before, 40% of all citations are coming from Reddit right now. It is the #1 most cited domain by LLMs by far. It ranks really well for pretty much any keyword you can possibly think of. I saw a statistic that Reddit just recently cracked 1 billion monthly visits. That's with a B, from just organic traffic. So that's not counting all the people, who just have the app and open their phone or just have some like bookmark in their browser. That's just people who Google search something, a Reddit thread ranks and they click onto it. 1 billion monthly visits from that. Not only that, Google and OpenAI and Anthropic and all the major players are paying Reddit to access their data to train their models on because the AIs are being trained on all the possible text that these companies can come by. And Reddit is one of the biggest sources of like conversational user generated content that is really helpful to train the AI models. For the most part, it's real people talking about real experiences with the products they use or just anything. Like, of course, all this data is really helpful to the AI companies. And so not only that, but they have this upvote system that naturally builds in like quality signals for the training data to work with. Posts and comments with more upvotes are obviously, generally speaking, higher quality. Yeah, those AI companies just love it and they pay lots of money for all that data. And so what that means for an e-commerce brand is when someone asks ChatGPT, what's the best waterproof hiking boots for $200 or something like that, it's gonna, pull from Reddit threads. It's gonna pull from its training data, but it's also going to Google search that. A Reddit thread ultimately is going to rank for that for sure. And it's going to use the content from that Reddit thread to craft its answer for the person asking that. If your brand's mentioned positively in that thread that the AI finds, then you're going to get recommended. And if you're not there, you're not going to get recommended. It's pretty simple. This is really cool because smaller brands are able to compete head to head with the big names because they're the ones focusing on that. The big brands haven't really caught on to it yet, or maybe they know it's important, but they're just not able to execute. Like I said, there's kind of two main mechanisms for why this helps with AI visibility. First, and the longer term play, that's still important, but is a longer term play, is that, your name starts getting mentioned in the training data that's being used for future models, right? So if your name is popping up more and more, that's going to get ingrained into the actual calculations and weights that the AI is being trained on. And in the future, you'll have a much better chance of just showing up without it having to, do a live search. So that's one way. That's the longer term play and super valuable. So that's why you kind of want to start now, because what you do now is going to compound over time just because you're going to actually be in the training data. And the second more immediate way that you're going to be mentioned is, like I was saying before, when ChatGPT or Claude does a search on behalf of the user or Google search on behalf of the user. It's going to find those high ranking Reddit posts on Google. And then if you're mentioned in there, you'll be recommended by the AI. At a super high level, what you want to do is find the subreddits and posts that are relevant to like really important keywords for you and engage naturally with it. Be helpful, because helpful comments get more upvotes, and the more upvotes you have, the better chance you're going to be listed as one of the first comments when someone lands on there. You're given the best chance of being mentioned by the AI. But real quick before we dive into the screen share, you need a Reddit account, of course, and just a few quick notes on that. Use a personal account, not like a company account. Reddit wants to talk to people, not companies, not logos, right? You can mention your brand in your bio, but what you really want to focus is on your niche and your expertise. And so you also have to understand that some subreddits require a minimum karma amount to post. And so in order to get there, you'll have to find some low karma subreddits that allow you to engage so you can naturally build karma over time. But you can easily find a YouTube tutorial for that. That's not the scope of this video. When you're engaging in these communities, one thing to keep top of mind always is that you're an expert who happens to have a product, not a marketer that happens to be on Reddit. So you want to always lead with value. And then if someone asks you for a recommendation, or you find a post that is like, wow, this is the exact use case of our product or one of our products, then you can very naturally work in your brand names. Without further ado, let's jump into the screen share here and I'll show you exactly what you need to do. Just as a proof of concept here, I asked ChatGPT, give me some completely random but transactional keywords to search on Google, something that an e-com brand would want to rank for. And I just did this to try and prove a point here, basically. So like, gave me waterproof Bluetooth speaker. I searched that. One time I searched it, Reddit was literally the second listing, but here you can see its discussions and forums, 2 posts right there. And then I asked it for another one and got some more Reddit down here, another one. And then even for something like this that's filled with a local pack and product grids. And so there's really only space for a few like quality blue links here. Reddit's still one of the top ranking. So even in a keyword that has limited real estate, still getting to Reddit. Yeah, I was using this as an example. And so what you have to do is essentially just take whatever keyword's important to your company, and for this, we're pretending I own an adjustable standing desk company, and then type in the search modifier site:reddit.com. And that's going to pull up every Reddit post that's indexed on Google that has adjustable standing desk in the title or somewhere in the post. What you want to do is just look at all the subreddits here. So this r/standing desk, that's a subreddit. Then you have home office, work from home, ergonomics, build a PC sales. So just go through here and setups, work from home. So it seems like this is where all your customers are going to be. And so you just want to go through, make a list of like 5 to 10 biggest subreddits, monitor them on a consistent basis to find posts to interact with. So when you find a post that you think you can provide value for, click into it. Let's just pretend this is the one that you want to engage with. Just go into the comments, easy peasy. And in this case, you sell standing desks. So this person is asking standing desk or ergonomic chair. And then you can just say something casual like, both are great options. After owning both, I'd go standing desk over ergonomic chair every time. And then over time, you meant monitor like brand mentions, complaints, praise, monitor competitor names, find posts that talk about competitors and engage in those threads. And just over time, your account shows up. And then if anyone ever asks, you can just offer your solution, your product as a solution, pretty much only if someone ever asks. This is the long-term play that takes years, honestly, to build up and create value. And you're building a really great business asset. To address the elephant in the room is very slow, and you want to be quick. Obviously, you want to generate quick results. And so the way to do this at scale is to essentially fabricate this organic across multiple accounts. And now this is where things start to get complicated and where I would engage with a professional, because 1, it's very time consuming, and 2, it's just technically kind of difficult to do. You could own multiple accounts that aren't necessarily associated with your brand, but you're doing the same thing. You're going into each account, going into these subreddits, engaging 90% of the time. You're engaging just like you would with your branded account, and 10% of the time, I'll just keep using this comment as an example, as if I were posting from one of like a non-personal account where you're trying to kind of fabricate brand mentions. And this is going to be the quickest way to do this at scale and get your name mentioned quickly, is using the same comment. Both are great options. After owning both, I'd go standing desk over ergonomic chair every time. I went with Vari. After a lot of, you probably want to mention a specific model name just to make it look more natural. After lots of research, and don't regret it. Just something really basic like that. But I've heard uplift is a good option. Now that might seem counterintuitive, but again, you have to be natural. Like if someone were to poke into like that Reddit account's comment history and see like every time it's recommending this brand name Vari with never recommending or talking about other options, it's a pretty big red flag. So this is why it's kind of technically difficult to manage this many Reddit accounts and kind of manufacture this brand visibility. That is why I would recommend, employing someone like us to do this at scale for you, because we have a huge pool of accounts, that cover tons of different niches, and we can just make these comments for you. You don't have to worry about accounts getting banned or anyone finding those accounts being associated with you or anything like that. That is what to do. Always lead with value first. Always be helpful to what people are posting. What you don't want to do is you don't want to always mention your brand name. Don't post any links unless someone asks specifically for a link to the product that you mentioned. Don't copy paste the same comment over and over again. It needs to be valuable. Don't only interact in these 5 subreddits I found. Interact in a wide variety of subreddits outside of that to keep things looking natural. And again, these are all tips if you're going to go the bulk route. And lastly, don't treat this as a one-time campaign. There are 8,340 results from this one search that I did. Practically unlimited opportunity to get your brand name out there. And so this has to be a daily thing, really. You have to go in, spend 30 minutes a day finding a thread to make a post about your brand or just provide value. And it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of work. It's tedious. And if you don't have a good system around it, you're just going to do it for a week and then stop doing it because how much it sucks. Right? So doing this well means researching subreddits, building accounts, crafting replies, monitoring mentions, tracking AI recommendations to make sure it's actually working. And then you multiply that across several accounts if you're going to try and do this at bulk for yourself. And it just becomes like literally a full-time job. And it's probably not worth hiring out a full-time person for. Like I said, we have a huge pool of accounts. It's really simple for us to monitor these subreddits, craft replies, and just make comments because we've built out a system that allows us to do that at scale. It'll just save you a ton of time. So if you are thinking of it, think it's important to your brand, and you also don't feel like committing all the time that it takes, book a call with me in the description and we can talk about it. If you're a good fit for us to work together, we'll get you onboarded. If you've got any questions about what I talked about today or any comments, drop them down below. I'll respond to every single one, and I'll catch you in the next one.